Today I will be discussing the difference between democratic and autocratic leadership. My main ideas that I'll be covering is everything need to know about democratic leadership, everything you need to know about autocratic leadership, the pros of democratic and the cons of democratic, and the pros of autocratic and the cons of the autocratic leadership. Leaders are seen all around the world and many don't even know they're motivating at all. According to a study conducted by CareerBuilder.com, nearly 58% of 3,910 managers said they didn't receive any management training at all, but instead worked their way up the ladder. This type of intrinsic motivation to become better, not for others, but for yourself, is very common among most humans. Because leadership is vital in the role of developing and enhancing lives of humans, it is seen differently in athletics, businesses, and everyday people. There are five main types of leadership tactics: transformational, transactional, laissez-faire, democratic, and autocratic. That are most seen across the United States. Democratic and autocratic leaderships are the two most popular style types that we see to this day. Today I will discuss the pros and the cons of the big five leadership types, the democratic and autocratic methods. You will see the differences but also the similarities between the two of them and be able to form opinions on which one is greater and which one and for which reasons. To help us understand leadership, we will first begin by examining the two types of leaderships are. The most effective leadership tactic is the democratic approach. According to the Executive Connection Company, democratic leadership can be described as participative leadership who often asks input from team members before making a final decision. Kendra Cherry of verywellmind.com stated that while using democratic leadership tactic, people are encouraged to use creativity and often rewarded for it. The leader has the final say, but the members are often encouraged for their input as well. This leadership tactic often brings high productivity and strong contributions from the group, which leads to higher morale from not only the leader but also the employees as well. The democratic approach allows for high satisfaction rates from the group due to the involvement from all instead of the single leader running the entire operation without any allowance of input. Specific traits of democratic leaders include honesty, intelligence, courage, creativity, competence, and fairness. They inspire and trust their co-workers and are sincere and base their decisions on the group morale and encourage followers to take action and contribute to the group. Many Americans contain these traits and don't even know which creates excellent natural leaders without leadership training or classes to be taken at all. Now that we know what democratic leadership style is, we will take a glance at the autocratic leadership method applied by the leaders. The least effective leadership strategy is the autocratic technique. According to the Executive Connection Company, autocratic leadership can be described as having significant control over the staff, rarely considers workers' suggestions or a share of power. Kendra Cherry of verywellmind.com stated that the autocratic leadership is a leadership style characterized by an individual control over all decisions and little input from the group members. This being said, the autocratic leadership tactic is much relatable to that of a dictatorship, in which one person is in charge and contains all the power and control of all decisions made without the input of the group. Autocratic leaders tend to make decisions based on their own personal opinions and judgments instead of what the group members feel fit for the company. Leonard Schaefer of Harvard Business Law Review stated that autocratic leadership is vital in the many workplace environments. This is necessary for organizations and companies that demand error-free outcomes. Although autocratic leaders is necessary for small business startups, it often leads to low satisfaction rates from employees due to lack of confidence and creativity. When the group feels their opinions are irrelevant, it tends to diminish the amount of brainstorming from the employees. Now that we examine the two types of leaderships, we will compare both the pros and the cons for each. There are many pros for using the democratic leadership tactic in the business field and everyday humans. A few benefits of the democratic tactic includes more ideas and creative solutions, group member commitment, and a high productivity, said Kendra from verywellmind.com. With more commitment from employees comes an increase in morale and higher accomplishment rates for the task at hand. The allowance of group input leads to better ideas and more committed to the job they are working on and feel because they are self-motivated to complete the project they have started. If workers aren't allowed to have their input in the job, satisfaction rates greatly decrease, causing the loss of morale and self-motivation from the workers. In personality psychology, Cherry stated that research on leadership styles also shows that democratic leadership leads to higher productivity among group members. Because the productivity amongst the group members increases, in turn, the object at hand tends to be solved quicker and higher quality than it would have had with less productivity from the members. Along with the many pros of democratic leadership tactic, There are also many cons that come along with it as well. Communication failure, decision making by unskilled groups, and minority or individual opinions overridden. That these are a few of the drawbacks that leadership tactic could have. Communication failure is most likely to occur when either one side of the party doesn't know what they're talking about, or the receiving side of the party doesn't care enough to listen to what they are saying. While the main idea of the democratic leadership tactic is to put the group first and allow input from them all, it can sometimes lead to a major setback in the process due to some people in the group either making a poor decision or trying to overpower the entire group as a whole. Cherry stated in that article that in situations where roles are unclear or time is of the essence, democratic leadership can lead to a communication failure and uncompleted projects. She also stated that democratic leadership can also lead to team members feeling like their opinions are irrelevant and which may lead to lower satisfaction rates from the employee. In agreement with Cherry, people who are outspoken and opinions tend to be irrelevant often feel left behind or banished from the group. People who tend to have correct and voice their opinions often become power happy and often get to forget their overall goal instead of worrying about themselves more often. While there are many benefits to the autocratic method, there is also many drawbacks from the autocratic method as well. According to Kendra Cherry, she states people who abuse autocratic leadership style are often bossy, controlling, dictatorial, and can sometimes result in resentment from the group members. Schaefer stated that the cons of the autocratic leadership include the hands of inviting potential abuse by overly powerful personalities and can stifle the staff and discourage creativity. Modern employees may not react well to authoritarian leadership and can discourage open communication between leaders and subordinates. This being said, if a leader decides to use their power to an extensive amount, it can lead to arrangement of miscues and lose respect for integrity for them. While abusing the power, the leader may feel they are helping the group by taking charge and initiative, but instead they are creating a dictatorship and resenting the ideas of group members. There are numerous amounts of pros to using the autocratic leadership technique as well. According to Cherry, the benefits of using the autocratic leadership technique is decisions can be made in a quickly manner, and in stress-filled situations it works best. Because stressful decisions can be made quickly, it allows for one person to feel confident in their decision and stand by their side the entire time. It is often effective in a small business because usually the group needs an outspoken leader who is willing to take charge and tackle the goal at hand. The manager is able to assign an individual task without questions being asked and tends to allow the project to be accomplished in a timely manner. Cherry also stated, when the leader is most knowledgeable persons in the group, the autocratic style can lead to fast and effective decisions. While the autocratic system usually comes with a bad reputation in many situations, it is necessary and proper in order to accomplish the task in a timely manner and effective fashion. Today we have compared and contrasted the two types of leadership methods and can now determine which one is better for which situation of business you are in. The basic principles of leadership involves the values of honesty, confidence, inspiration, commitment, accountability, delegation, creativity, and empathy. With these attributes, a leader can find success in any goal they are trying to accomplish. Many leaders around the world don't even know they contain the skills and attributes to become a natural leader, but instead take many years of school and $1,000 to spend on courses. Many of the best leaders in history were natural leaders and could encourage and persuade thousands of people to follow their lead. For example, Adolf Hitler was one of the most iconic leaders of all time. He started at an average soldier and with his autocratic leadership style coned 55,000 plus people into following him over time. Over the years, new leaders will become more relevant and old leaders will become irrelevant, but in the end, everyone has a leader inside of them. Although democratic leadership is the most effective and commonly used method, there are many kinds of other methods that can work just as well. Each task at hand needs different type of leadership style: transformational, transactional, laissez-faire, democratic, and autocratic. To accomplish and after doing so, they feel the satisfaction is incomparable. Whether it is more effective leadership model, democratic, or the least effective model, autocratic, they all have their benefits and drawbacks, but in the end, each and every system can be used to accomplish the goal at hand. Determination, hard work, grit, these are the three basic principles to accomplish any task in the form of one and will continue to be the basic principles that founded the country and molded the world that we live in today. As Warren Buffett, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, worth $85.4 billion net worth dollars, once said, "It's only when the tide goes out that you discover who's been swimming naked." Buffett is alluding to the idea that when everything is going as planned, everyone is happy and winning. But when the people react when nothing is going as planned, that will truly define who the leader is. With motivation, a leader can be sculpted out of anyone. So the question is, how motivated are you? Thank you for listening to my speech.